Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Donjo number SB-3 in a 605 polished brass finish is what this is. This is a lovely, small, modern-shaped, solid brass surface bolt is what it is. Okay, very nice, attractive bolt. Small little bolt like this, not small, but it's 3-inch. A smaller size bolt like this can be used to great effect on applications where you wish to have either something a bit more discreet in terms of the overall size. You might have an application that requires something quite small like this. They even make a smaller one. There's a 2-inch version of this commercially available as well. Where I'll see people use this is to lock up a variety of things. I've had new parents move into a home and they've got a door that leads down to the basement. The door swings into the kitchen and the stairs straight down. I tell them, do this. Install a small bolt up at the top of the door, and install the rim strike, and we'll go over the strikes in a moment, so you can just reach up and lock that sort of scenario. This bolt from Donjo is not going to creep down, okay, at all, so it's effective in that regard. I mean, it takes a lot to get that to move down. And then, you can remove it later on when there's no potential for a door being opened and someone taking a tumble down the stairs. Casement windows, people use this on. Obviously, to lock up doors. I've had people even install these onto appliances just to keep the doors shut tight against the framed housing, wherever you use it. It's obviously a door bolt that's used to secure a door, however. Now, this is 605. That means two things. It means three things. That it's made of solid brass, okay? That it's polished brass, and that it has a lacquer on it. That's a lacquer finish that's on the brass. Very nice looking item. This is available in several different finishes in the solid brass base material, and I'm looking up at a monitor here. 605 for polished brass, 613 for oil rubbed bronze, 619 for satin nickel, 620 for antique nickel, 625 for polished chrome, and 626 for satin chrome, and all that's on a brass base material. There is a link below this video to a document called Template that will give you the important dimensional properties of the item, and let's go over that now. Overall length, that's where your 3-inch comes in. You've got a body width, they don't give that, but it's about 5/8. You've got an overall projection of about 5/16. We're giving it at 0.28. Yeah, right there. Okay. Dimension of 5/8 of an inch roughly in terms of the overall height of the bolt when you consider the knob itself, which is a 1/2 inch off the end to the center. That's a little bit off. It's closer to 3/8, I would say. You're going to get screws to attach everything, and these screws are not brass. Keep that in mind, which is really not a downside, because you really do want your screw to be of a bit more sterner material, tougher material than brass. It can be very easy to strip out a brass screw. It takes some practice to learn to properly pre-drill that hole and get the proper screwdriver fit into the screw and put that in. The bottom line is, unless you're really concerned about a rust scenario where the screws being ferrous-based will rust potentially, not potentially, they will rust in that environment. Keep in mind that the screws are steel and that it's actually to your benefit. Otherwise, I could just imagine the flood of calls that would come to the manufacturer. The screw stripped. Well, the brass is too soft, for the understanding of what people bring to what a screw is made of. Anyway, let's move on. A couple of strike plates that you're going to see here. First of all, you're going to have what's called a Mortise Strike. Mortise. That's very thin. It's a very thin piece of solid brass material. I'm going to guess that you're probably going to surface mount this. That's 0.048 inch thick. 0.048. So if you took a 1/16 of an inch and you divided it by 5, and multiplied that by, 8, Yeah, well, probably, I said that backwards. If you took a 1/16 of an inch and you divided it by 4 and multiplied that by 3, it's a very thin piece of material is what I'm trying to say. You're probably going to surface mount that. The overall width of the strike or length is 1.47. 1.47. We'll put the caliper away. We don't need to be that accurate with this strike. And the width of the strike is about a 1/2 inch. And that's going to be used, a mortise strike like this could be used in a on a push side application where you have a door that you're going to push away from you and the bolt will be on the inside of the door and you need to have a strike just simply go up to the header, and that would be an application for that. You could also have a window application where the window swings in but the window is set into the frame. That would work as well. If you've got a flush condition, like a pull side mount, or maybe you're using this as a Dutch door bolt, you'll use this rim strike. Okay, that's going to consider that to be the same thickness as the mortise strike. It is 0.048. This could be used to great effect on a pull side mount, where you'll attach this to the frame, and then of course your bolt will go here and the door will swing towards you. You know, this would be more of a pull side mount, or again a Dutch door mount, because you can mortise this into the top of the door or the shelf. But if there's a shelf scenario, you'd probably just use the mortise strike as well. Overall depth of that strike, about 1.25 inches. Overall width of that strike, about 3/4 inch, maybe 13/16. Real nice quality item. These are known, you know, in industry slang, so to speak, as a modern type. It's just a modern bolt. It's not decorative, it's not ornate, it's not curved, it has no ridges or details. It's just straight angular, just straight solid lines on it. So modern is what they'll call this. There is, and quite frankly, lots of applications to use this in. And finally, moving on, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Donjo products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. The full product catalog is certainly great, but it gives you everything that they sell. For convenience, we've listed above there subsections. So if you're looking for other door bolts, you'll probably want to look in the catalog called Bolts and Latches, so that you can review this item and all of their sister products related to that. It's handy. If you know Donjo as a company, if you know the name, you probably know them for their door reinforcing wraparound plates and their latch protectors. But for instance, this SB-3 surface bolt, when you get to that page, change the 3 to a 2 and you'll have the tiny little 2-inch model, which is a neat bolt that you can use. 4-inch, 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch, and 12-inch. Then you'll get to the other areas where you can see the other bolts as well. Okay, Dutch door bolts, other modern surface bolts, security bolts, other ancillary hardware that will go along with that. The term bolt or latch in general. If you have any questions on the Donjo SB-3 and a 605 finish, surface bolt, or any other Donjo product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.